Hello, my name is Justin Breithaupt, and today I'd like to show you some things proving that the New World Order is being exposed. The veil has fallen, and as of September 28th and September 27th, 2015, just as prophesied and predicted in my prophecy playlist, you can find in the video description. So, anyway, first I'm going to start. I'll show you a quote in a minute, but first I'm going to show you Planned Parenthood. This is September 29th, which is today, I believe. Yep. Planned Parenthood leader, video allegations are offensive and untrue. No, they're not, because she said what she did say on the video. The videos are what actually happened, was actually said by the people in Planned Parenthood. So, and then, of course, on the same level of killing children, mom tossed newborn out of 7-story window in New York. And I don't know how often that happens, but anyway, it was a Tuesday, September 29, 2015. That's when this was updated, and this is from the Seattle PI.com, which is interesting. But anyways, why do these people lie? Why do they lie about what's going on? Well, everyone who does evil hates the light. They hate the truth, and will not come into the light for fear that their deeds will be exposed. But whoever lives by the truth comes into the light, so that it may be seen plainly that they have done, or what they have done has been done in the sight of God. And that comes from John 3:20 through 21 in the NIV. And I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I just want to explain it for those of you that don't get it the first time, or when you're reading this on your own. Basically what this means is that those who that hate the light are the people that do evil. And the reason they hate the light is because they're afraid that it's going to expose their deeds, and it's going to be seen before God and before the people. But whoever lives by the truth comes into the light, so that they may be seen plainly that what they have done has been done in the sight of God. And so, just to touch on that for a moment, people that aren't afraid of what people have said about them, they aren't afraid of court records, evidence, whatever against them, because they've done what's right. They're not afraid of the light. They're not afraid. But the people who are afraid of the light, who are afraid of the truth, they destroy evidence. They deny evidence, even when it's right in front of them. Just like this lady from Planned Parenthood, she's denying the evidence. And I've seen people do that. I've seen public officials sign documents that say that something isn't true that is, and include the evidence against them with it. Wall Street drops as anxious investors eye China. September 28th, the U.S. stocks finished sharply lower on Monday, and we're on track for the worst quarter in 4 years as investors. Now, this was predicted by Jonathan Cahn, who did the Harbingers and the Shemitah books and all that good stuff in the videos. He predicted that this would happen. The NASDAQ composite lost 3%, and S&P 500 dropped more than 2%. Much of the damage came from the pharmaceutical and biotech stocks. A lot of people are against that. After Democratic lawmakers on Monday attacked massive price increases of 2 heart drugs from Canada's Valiant Pharmaceuticals International Incorporated, which turned to be 16.5%. How about the rise of that AIDS treatment that went up to like $750 per pill? I mean, come on, they're not talking about that. Facebook went down 3 times this month. September 28th, it was down yesterday. People couldn't get into it. I mean, my cell phone could kind of get into it if I waited a long time, but definitely couldn't access it on my computer. It was offline. I mean, that's a sign of something. And Facebook is, definitely manipulating the media and different things like that that's shown. Hillary laughs again, dismisses the email scandal as a conspiracy theory, just like the Planned Parenthood lady. Basically, they're just saying, oh, yeah, it's just a conspiracy theory. Well, it is a conspiracy theory. It's a proven conspiracy theory, so it's no longer a theory. It's just a conspiracy. The FBI proved it. I mean, they're afraid of the truth. They're afraid of the light. They hate it. They hate the light because it exposes them. And they're not afraid of it anymore, I don't think. I mean, because they just blatantly lie. America's, but they must be afraid. I mean, America's little-known ISIS fundamentalist Mormon sect that believes polygamy, child rape, and organized crime go together. You know, it makes sense because the Mormons and ISIS and all them, the same type of religion, which the Mormon religion, as you get higher and higher into the temple system, it looks more like the Freemason religion. They have some of the same symbols and some of the same stuff. They call themselves the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But it's just blasphemous. 4.2 magnitude earthquake hits northwest Nevada. Third recent 4+ quake to strike swarm-prone region. September 27, 2015. Remember, there was one in Turkey as well. Conspiracy theories are now mainstream media, and this is by the HPR1.com. It's an interesting article. I should include this in the description of the video. Include these links. Outer space, satellite missile test or space junk. North Korea readies launch. So they don't know if it's a missile test or space junk, but let's see. I was trying to see what date this was when this happened. This says 19 hours ago this article came out. Of course, the picture is from January 2014. Satellite that North Korea launched into space 3 years ago circles the Earth 95 minutes, altitude of 540 kilometers. Its orbit decaying. No signals have been detected from the crude-looking hunk of black metal that the North said was mounted with cameras to take images of and transmit them back. So there's nothing, no radio frequencies going back and forth to this thing. It's not doing what they said it did. The North is planning another satellite launch next month, reigniting fears that they're really testing a system to deliver nuclear weapons, which would make sense because their nuclear launching systems don't seem to go that far, so it would make sense for them to launch from space. The secretive state is already under international sanctions for its nuclear missile tests. South Korean foreign minister said this month the North's plan to launch a new satellite, which would be timed around the 70th anniversary of its ruling party. 70th anniversary, again, by the 70th anniversary of the United Nations, and 70th Shemitah, I think it was. Lots of stuff going on, which is kind of interesting. So the 70th anniversary of the ruling party is going to be October 10th, which would be the discussed missile test. So there's a possibility they're going to test another missile on October 10th. The United States is going to put more sanctions on them, which I don't know if that's going to affect them or not. I mean, you can put all kinds of sanctions on somebody with a gun, but until you take away the gun, they're still going to have it, you know. Okay, this page didn't load for some reason. Okay, so food industry is in a panic over a tiny optical spectrometry device that can tell you what's really in your food, because now there's this food spectrometer, this tiny spectrometer you can carry with you in your pocket. From what I understand, anybody can, I don't know how much it costs, but I think anybody can buy it, and now it tells you what's in your food. I mean, if there's chemicals or weird things in your food that shouldn't be there, now you can scan your food in the grocery store with this handheld device and find out what's in it. Like I said, things are being exposed like never before. Now here's an interesting one, and I've seen some people go over this, but they made really long videos where they never got to the point. So the Pope is the ABC News now, and it is reliable. Read what Pope Francis said at New York's St. Patrick's Cathedral. Okay, so we go down here and it says, the cross shows us a different way of measuring success. Ours is to plant the seeds. God's sees to the fruits of our labors. And if at times our efforts and works seem to fail and not produce fruit, we need to remember that we are followers of Jesus Christ, and his life, humanly speaking, ended in failure and the failure of the cross. He doesn't, I mean, why would you say that, you know, the cross is a failure, that Jesus was a failure? It just doesn't make sense. The Pope came to the United Nations in his own name and the name of the Catholic Church, and the Bible says we're not supposed to listen to someone that comes in another name besides Jesus Christ. I want to end this video quickly. Well, actually, I've got something else to show you, but really quick, I want to show you on mindblowingindia.com. If you click the link that says law school right here, not the link that you first see on the webpage when you go there, but this law school link here, you're going to have a playlist, a YouTube playlist with several videos, and there's a new video every day on this playlist except Sundays. And then the rest of the law school is found at this other link. That's where the link on the main page goes. And there's several things here you can use. All of the stuff you'll need. These are free online legal classes of common law, constitutional law. And anyone, I think that it's a good idea for people to study these things and go through all these courses. And these are all by Bill Thornton. The courses are all by William R. Thornton. Anyway, so I had one more thing to show you. Here's a woman that was on Minds.com, and I shared this on my news feed. You can still find it there, I think. Her Minds.com account doesn't exist anymore. But anyway, September 29, 2015 at 7:57 a.m., whatever time, probably Pacific Standard Time. I don't know. There was a time, this lady says, there was a time when I was very confident in the justice system, but found out soon enough that the system doesn't work. The lack of an investigation being done properly by a joke of an investigator at CPS Reject led to 2 pedophiles being able to walk away free. Not only was the victim thrown under the bus, but was also violated again by the injustice. There isn't a damn thing I can do about it. Legally, there really is no justice for children who are victims of sexual abuse. I've never felt so much rage and disgust in my life. I realized how dumb I was to think that the victim would get any kind of justice, and it makes me wish that I wouldn't have went to anyone for help, and I would have just taken matters into my own hands. It's been a huge struggle to keep the monster in me from rearing its ugly head. And I just want to tell you, I've heard this from a lot of people, and I have experienced this myself. I've seen CPS not investigate a pedophile and then allow children to be molested and place them directly in harm's way. I've seen this happen, and I've seen law enforcement participate and go along with it, and I've seen the judicial system do nothing about it. And then they just say, oh, well, that's CPS's problem, and that's whoever's problem. This screenshot was taken from my cell phone. Anyway, this is a reality. Some people say, oh, that I'm the one who's crazy, or that this just couldn't happen, or, whatever. And here's someone else that talked about it publicly and shared this in the public domain. Now, obviously, there's a lot of people that are afraid, and I have to tell you, you're taking a risk when you talk about this stuff in the public domain. If you don't know what you're doing, you can be targeted by the authorities. They can arrest you and put you in jail. They can find a reason to come after you if you report them for negligence, or if you just report, your own children being molested. It can happen to you. I've been threatened because of this sort of thing, and I've been put in jail for this sort of thing because I found out about it and reported authorities for not doing anything about it. So, if you want to take a stand against this sort of thing, I'm telling you, pray about it. Take appropriate actions. Don't jump into it without any education. And that's another reason why you should go to this law school, which is not a real law school, by the way. It's studying practices. The guy would get in trouble. He says so in the first episodes. He says that it's not a real law school, and it doesn't give out certificates. But I tell you what. Attorneys and judges, the saying is that when their mouths are moving, they're lying, and that's how you know when they're lying, is when their mouth is moving. Anyone with a bar license, bar card, I say probably 99.9% of the people with bar cards are probably committing some kind of a crime willingly, knowingly, and intelligently. So it's a good idea to go to this law school and study all these resources, and that's what I'm saying. So I would go there and do that. It's Bill Thornton's law school, and he calls it the Nitty Gritty Law School, and it's pretty good. So anyways, like, comment, share, and subscribe.